Is this the best CELPIP writing ever, and should you write like this? Well, there's lots of things I want to discuss here, but yes, this writing, according to my assessment, will score a 12 out of 12, and I'll tell you why and how you can do the same type of writing. This is a task 2. Here's the question. A high school is planning to introduce a new activity, basically. You can read the rest of the question. The options are simple. Option A, robotics club, or option B, community service group. This is the writing. It's between 180 to 195 words the last time I checked, so word-wise sitting perfectly. First glance, as an examiner, I would look at this and say, this is a perfect structure. You got your 4 paragraphs. Intro looks like has the opinion. Conclusion rephrases it. Perfect. Looks great. Good first impression. Now let's get started and we'll check out the intro and conclusion first. See what's good there. The choice between these two proposals is certainly perplexing. So one thing I like here is the student did not say the choice between the robotics club and the community service group. You literally don't have to say the same words. You can, but in this case there are too many words. So just saying something simple like these two proposals is good enough. Certainly perplexing, advanced word. Certainly is an adverb, which gives you a range of vocab. So first sentence, very good things, very good start. It's also a general sentence. You don't usually give your opinion right away. You give your opinion later, which is what the student is doing. And see how the student states in this context. Now that's unique. I don't see that usually in writings. So this is nice. It's unique. It's a unique start. It's advanced. I firmly believe instead of just saying I think. So that's a good advanced phrasing. Plus, it's a firm statement telling you that this is my opinion very clearly, which is what you're supposed to do. The robotics club is the more advantageous option. Now, this is good. You could make it even better by saying something like advantageous option considering the career opportunities or considering the educational tools. Whatever you're about to discuss later, you should briefly mention that here, but if you don't, it's not a mistake. It's all good so far. Now let's look at the conclusion, because at this point we want to see if the student has successfully rephrased the intro in the conclusion, because that is what we're supposed to do. In conclusion, while both proposals have merit, nice wordings again, the robotics club holds the promise of blending passion with practical skills. This is very creative. The way the student has said blending this, and these two things are the points the student has mentioned here in body 1. So she is rephrasing them at the end and using the words like holds the promise of blending, which looks superb and it's highly advanced, and we don't see this usually. We see very simple words. So this is again going to give her marks left and right. Look at the last sentence. It would truly empower students to think outside the box and prepare them for the challenges of tomorrow. This is fine. There could be a number of things you do here. This student did something like a suggestion and a continuation of her opinion telling us why this is a good thing, which is fine. I would recommend students to kind of stay away from suggestions, not because this is wrong, this is completely fine, but when people do suggestions, they kind of add new points and you might get that wrong. So I would recommend just make the opinion longer, and you could add points here, something like holds the promise of blending passion related to whatever with practical skills in the field of or in the careers related to something. So that's how you can extend your opinion's points, but you could do this too as long as you do it correctly. I'll just say be cautious with that. Now let's look at body 1. Mainly, again, good start. You know, every time I look at any starting, like the intro, conclusion, the structure, first impressions are like, this student knows what to do. This student has done a great job of flow with the intro having the opinion, and body 1, mainly, it's a good advanced word, because usually, as someone who gives feedback day and night, I see here firstly, my first point is, or sometimes not even any connector. So I know the student realizes that and she is doing different connectors. And then moving on to the next body, she's saying on the other hand, because she's going to touch on the other topic. So she has very good control of her flow and she realizes when to use connectors. Plus she's not using common connectors. She's using advanced ones that other students normally don't use. Robotics equips students with cutting-edge Again, good words, cutting edge skills, highly relevant to the modern world. Look at this sentence. It's a simple sentence, one short sentence. Next sentence, learning, programming, problem solving, and mechanical design gives them a leg up in a job market. Leg up is an idiomatic expression, which is great. Increasingly dominated by technology. Now this is another clause, almost another clause, making this sentence a complex sentence followed by a simple sentence. So a good combination there. Plus this point is very nicely elaborated. She first tells you that we get cutting edge skills highly relevant to the modern world. Then she gives you examples. These are the skills that I was talking about, and they'll give you a leg up in a world dominated by technology. Perfect. First point here is wrapped up nicely. No mistakes, grammar mistakes, or any other mistakes, none of them. Punctuation marks nicely placed. What's more, great connector as we build the flow to our next point. And again, it's not something like secondly, it's advanced. It's what's more. It cultivates, again, really nice wordings. Instead of, she could say it improves teamwork. But no, it cultivates nice wordings. And you'll see that throughout. Whenever the student wants to use something basic, she is finding a way to make it better. It's not, here, for example, you may not yield. You could have said, instead of yield, it will result or will not result in. Here, instead of blending, you could say combining. But she is choosing the advanced versions of everything, which is wonderful. It cultivates teamwork and innovation, and then you have a semicolon because now she's breaking the sentence into two separate parts, showing the examiner that I know how to use an advanced punctuation like a semicolon, gaining marks for that too. Plus it's adding a range of punctuations, which is going to add to a range of grammatical sentences and expressions. So that's again a great job done. Two heads are better than one. Idiomatic expression. And then she elaborates it. And building robots together demands collaboration under stressful conditions. Nice. Now you see, until this point, what I noticed was, when I first read this, is until this point, I kind of feel like there is something lacking. We could add something more. The student realized that and then completed this thought with this final sentence. This ultimately builds and grows the very skill of teamwork. So she defined the process until here, and there was something missing, and that was the result of that process, which has been mentioned in one last sentence, which is a simple sentence, again mixed with a bunch of complex sentences, and that is the perfect combination because you need a good range. So I can very clearly see 1 point here, 1 point there. Structure-wise, it looks perfect. It's very coherent, very clear. Going to body 2, on the other hand, a community service group. Now we're talking about the other point. Though noble in intent, it's a very nice way to build the flow. Like, yeah, we were very positive here, so we're saying this is also kind of noble. It's kind of good. But, and here we start our negativity, may not yield the same long-term benefits. And this is point number 1. Volunteering experiences, while valuable, often lack the technical rigor that shapes career trajectories. Basically, she's saying that if you volunteer, it's not going to have any technical work involved, which will not help you in your career. One sentence for this point. I'll come back to that later. Is that a good idea or a bad idea? We'll talk about that in a second. But this is 1 point, basically. Now her second point is with moreover, again a good connector. Such initiatives can sometimes devolve into token activities performed for appearances rather than genuine impact, leaving students. So she always adds this conclusion to her points. She did it here. She did it here. She did it here, and we can giving them a leg up in there, right there. So she's always doing that. She didn't do it in this point. This was just one sentence. Once again, we'll come back to that one. But she's always giving you the result, leaving students with little more than a pat on the back. Once again, idiomatic expression. So at this point, her 2 points are done for the opposite side. Now she adds this sentence. In contrast, robotics offer measurable, transferable skills that stand the test of time. So now she's comparing it with robotics and saying, look, because you have these problems with community service, we would rather go with robotics because robotics have this. What I would do in the exam is I would not do this sentence because it's talking about the other side. And I should be focused on one thing in this paragraph, which has to be the volunteering point, that other point that we did not choose. And if I do that, I will add another sentence here just to be safe, because this one sentence looks too small. And we have to do one sentence here because she's trying to make room for other sentences. But I would get rid of this one and just add one more here so that this point has more elaboration and I don't talk about the other side. That's what I would do, and that's what I would recommend you do. With that said, the way the student has done this is very clever. It's very neatly done, so there's no deduction. She has expressed her points very nicely, so I don't blame her for what she has done. She was confident and she took the risk. I don't recommend you take the risk because it's complex as to how we should execute what she did right here. I would say keep it simple. Keep just 2 negative points in body 2 and 2 positive points in body 1, and in body 1 she has done something that you can follow to the T. Overall, it's a perfect answer, 0 mistakes, highly advanced, and you will see throughout the words and phrases, the choices she has used are advanced, they're unique, they're not repetitive, not a single thing was repeated. Every expression, every thought was original and new. Every point was well detailed with a cause, example, result, and the structure was intro, body 1, body 2, conclusion, neatly done. If you want to score a 12 out of 12, follow something like this and follow the samples, guides, and techniques in our course that are included in the description. You can check it out right now. Again, guys, this is what you got to follow even if you need a 7, 8, 9, or 10. Aim for a 12 out of 12 because obviously you will make mistakes and the scores may go down. So aim for the highest and these tips will help you get there. Thank you so much. Talk to you next time.